Welcome to The Project. Tonight, shock and complete disgust after two public hospital nurses were filmed allegedly gloating about killing Israeli patients in their care. The video shows what appears to be them bragging about not only refusing to treat Israeli patients, but taking lives and, quote, sending them to Jahannam, one of the Islamic levels of hell.
God forbid. I won't treat them, I'll kill them.
You have no idea how many Israeli Khara dog came to this hospital and I sent it to Jahannam.
The pair has since been stood down from Bankstown Lidcombe Hospital in Sydney. They're assisting police with their inquiries. The state government has found no evidence that Israeli patients have been mistreated, but is reviewing patient cases over the last 12 months. This afternoon, the male nurse reportedly claimed the comments were a joke that backfired. And the family of the female nurse lashed out at reporters.
Get the off my property! I'm on public property.
Right now!
What?
I don't give a shit! Get the off
I'm
my
on public
property!
property.
Was I on the phone? Don't
stop walking towards me. Hey, don't, mate. Listen to me, brother. All right, okay. I need my phone back.
We are live from the lands of the Kulin Nation, and Alex Rivchin is the co-CEO of the Executive Council of Australian Jewry. Alex, what did you think and feel when you first saw this video?
Look, it was one of the most sickening things that I've seen, and in the past 16 months I feel like I've seen it all. To see two individuals, two Australians, healthcare workers, exhibiting such levels of hatred, such levels of dehumanisation, to treat a person like that, to speak of a person in such a way, to wish him a painful, tortured death, knowing nothing of him, other than the fact that he's a Jewish Israeli. It really speaks to what's happening in our society, and for 16 months we've all wondered how people can set fire to childcare centres, burn synagogues, vilify and abuse people in the streets, and I think we got a very good insight into the hearts and minds of these people.
Alex, the male nurse in the video has since said that it was a joke. He believes it was a misunderstanding. He says he wants to make a public apology. The family of the female nurse says that she's not a threat, that this wasn't serious. What's your response to those claims?
I think anyone that's watched that video will realise that that's a patently absurd thing to say. There was no aspect of that which looked like it was said in jest or with humour. They were deadly serious. It wasn't just a flippant comment, it was a prolonged attack. They knew exactly what they were saying, and I don't think anyone's buying that nonsensical excuse that they're offering.
Alex, so many Australians would have watched this video today. They would have been shocked, they would have been disgusted. What has the response been from the broader Australian community? Have they got in contact with you?
Yeah, look, I've heard from very many Australians do after every anti-Semitic incident, and people are mortified. I mean, there are certain incidents that I think really capture the imagination of the public and make people realise just how bad things have gotten and how anti-Semitism affects all Australians. Seeing a childcare centre burn, a synagogue burn, and seeing healthcare workers behave in this way, exhibit such dehumanising behaviour, such viciousness, I think has really startled a lot of people. I mean, we like to believe that we're a harmonious society of tolerant people, but when we see something like that, I think it shakes us out of our stupor.
Alex, would you feel safe at a public hospital after this video?
Look, I still have immense faith in our professionals and our healthcare workers, and I like to believe that these people are outliers. But at the same time, for 15 months, I've been hearing from members of my own community about things that have been happening in the medical profession and other fields as well, about very extreme social media content that's being posted, about certain ideologies that people hold. So we can't believe that these people are just outliers and just an anomaly. I think it's a more deep-seated and worse problem than that. But I take a view of humanity that's still overwhelmingly positive, and hopefully this leads to a correction of course, that we realise what's going on in our society and we drive it from our midst, because this can't be who we become.
Alex, appreciate your time tonight, and of course we'll be talking to the New South Wales Health Minister, Ryan Park, later on.
Thank you.
Anthony Albanese, in other news, may end up in the travel business if a buyer can't be found for Rex Airlines. The PM is offering incentives to private bidders, but says the federal government will step in if a sale doesn't happen. The opposition is not keen on the idea. It says taxpayers shouldn't have to prop up a commercially viable enterprise.
We would prefer for the private sector to be successful in a bid. What we are doing, though, is providing that certainty for regional communities that they won't just be left abandoned.
And do Maltesers taste better if they're eaten out of a box or a plastic bag? The issue has long been debated. The top stories, guys, on social media. And our scientists are weighing in. They say packaging can dictate sensory cues, affecting the overall Malteser experience. We can hear them rolling around in the box, and experts reckon, look, she's having a great time. That actually boosts perception that they taste better.
Well, they're right. I'm glad that this research is important research. I'm glad that it's been undertaken.
Yeah, finally scientists are doing something worthwhile.
Yeah.
They're getting in here and sorting out this. I agree, by the
Maltesers
way.
in the box, 100% better than
Yes.
Maltesers in the plastic.
You were saying something similar the other day, Hamish. You were telling me that caviar tastes better served by your butler than when you go to a restaurant. And I found that I couldn't relate, but I found it an interesting observation.
Yeah.
That's the last time I have you out.
I'm the butler. It's me.
It's you.
It's me.
I see.
Guys, let's go to Canberra. Well, this was really fun as well. Nationals leader David Littleproud actually did an impression of me talking to my girlfriend after forgetting to put the bins out.
Righto. Get me with it.
So in that scenario, my girlfriend is playing the media and Barnaby Joyce is playing the bin, I think.
What?
Does that make sense?
No, not really.
I thought that was a bloody good one.
I also feel like you'd be more wobbly in an argument with Jules. Yours
Oh,
my
yeah,
girlfriend,
yes, yeah.
You'd have more fear in your eyes. Yeah, way more tears.
Cry
Vulnerable.
so much, yes, I run. I love you. I give it a thumbs up. That's how we greet each other.
Oh, wow.
Happy
You're in
Valentine's
trouble.
Day.
Yeah.
Time for a break. We'll see you on the other side.
Welcome back to the project.
Anthony Albanese's hopes of securing a trade exemption from US tariffs on Australian steel and aluminium have hit a hurdle. President Donald Trump's senior trade advisor, Pete Navarro, has rejected the idea. He says Australia had a verbal agreement with the US to ease up on the amount of aluminium we're sending to the US, which we haven't honoured. The 25% tariffs are due to come into effect next month.
Australia is just killing our aluminum market, and the President Trump says, no, we're not doing that anymore.
Arthur Sinodinos was Australia's ambassador to the United States and is with us now. Arthur, is there any substance to those claims that Australia is killing the American aluminium market?
Not at all. We make only a very small contribution to the steel and aluminium going into the US. There was an agreement about restraining volumes to a certain level, and the idea was that we would monitor what the companies were doing, and if the companies were getting out of line, we would let them know so that they could pull themselves back.
Arthur, tell us about that agreement. It happened around the time you were ambassador. Who was behind the deal, and what did we say we'd do?
Well, I inherited whatever the understanding was, and the understanding was along the lines that I mentioned, that we would restrain the volumes to certain historical levels. And the idea was that the responsibility for making sure those levels continued to be met was with the companies, and the idea was that the Australian government would let the companies know if the levels looked like they were being exceeded. Now, this was all very informal. Nothing, as far as I can recall, was on paper. I never saw anything on paper, but that was the understanding. And there were a couple of times when I spoke with people in the administration when they were raising issues in my time about where the levels were at. But certainly it was an issue to which we were sensitive.
Come on, Arthur. We're trying to narrow down the ambiguity here. Are we talking about Joe Hockey or Scott Morrison or a bit of both? Because Turnbull says it wasn't him. Is this a sort of Joe Hockey on the golf course with Trump sort of situation that we're talking about?
No, not at all. This would have been something that the Australian government, the embassy, everyone would have been in on. Look, I don't think there's any particular issue with this. It's clear that this was a way of avoiding having tariffs put on us, and that's what we did, and we did our best to meet that requirement.
Arthur, is this going to damage our relationship with the United States?
These things are always awkward, but governments, prime ministers, presidents are in the job of protecting their national interest. Trump will know that we will do everything we can to protect our national interest. He has regard for Australia, but he has a general policy which he promised to the American people. We respect that. He's trying to carry that out, but we have a job to protect the Australian people.
So what advice would you give Albo and Kevin Rudd, for that matter, in dealing with Donald Trump?
I think the best piece of advice to anybody dealing with Trump and the administration is just be on the front foot, be confident, go in there with constructive proposals, don't take a back foot, because these are people in the White House now who are used to rough and tumble. They've come from like real estate development, private business, where they're used to having, contretemps over deals. They get to a bottom line. They all sort of agree on it, then they have a drink and they move on.
Arthur, you've had some dealings with Donald Trump. How do we go about resolving this now? Because I think it's at all like a big misunderstanding. I think we're talking about aluminium and he's talking about a product I've never heard of called aluminum.
Well, this is right. We're divided by a common language.
Exactly.
And I think what we should do is send you to the United States to try and resolve this, because clearly you've got to the bottom of what the problem really is.
Thank you, Arthur. I would love to go to America. Vegas, here I come.
Oh, Arthur, you've never actually met Sam Taunton, have you?
No, not Vegas. Not Vegas. Mar-a-Lago for you, mate. Mar-a-Lago now. That's the centre of the universe.
I'll get my golf clubs out. This has worked out very well.
Arthur, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Great to see you all.
Mar-a-Lago, Sam.
I know, I'm taking the next week off.
That political science degree is finally getting run.
I know.
Contretemps.
Well, what's that? I don't know what that is.
You nodded along.
Yeah, I know. I do that a lot on this show. Have you been paying attention? I often go, good point. I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, now, this is interesting. When you bring a kid to work, you guys would know, there's always kids around here. There's always a chance they could embarrass you, right? Even if you're Elon Musk and working at the White House.
If we do that, that means I think you get the economic growth to maybe 3-4%, maybe 5%.
Oh, buddy.
And that means you can get $1 trillion economic growth. And you can cut the budget deficit.
Okay, now he's realised. He knows. Oh, no, he's back in.
He's back.
Oh, no.
Between now and next year.
Okay.
Oh, got it. Oh, makes you think, doesn't it? That's how bad the cost of living crisis has got. Even Elon Musk's kid has got to eat wherever he can.
That's not even the grossest thing to happen at that desk.
Sarah Harris.
He's in the annex.
We now have to take a look at what's making waves in the Australian music world this week.
You guys, can you believe it? Brat Summer has officially made its way to Oz. Charlie XCX is partying her way around the country for Laneway Festival with local acts Rona, Skeggs and new faves Girl and Girl. No sightings of her mate Troye Sivan as of yet. And Brizzy pop maverick Mallrat has been selected to open for Kylie, whose Tension tour kicks off in Perth this weekend. Get them dancing shoes on. Loopmaster Tash Sultana's new single is called Milk and Honey and was penned in only an hour. Tickets to their Red Rocks USA show have just sold out, even quicker than that.
I've just been told that I have sold out Red Rocks again in a matter of minutes.
Delta Goodrum's been busy stateside.
Hey y'all, I'm in Nashville, day 3 of riding.
She's had a packed schedule of songwriting sessions in Music City, so hopefully we'll be hearing a lot more from her very soon. That's Aria Amplified.
This is The Project.
Fans are worried about Mariah Carey after footage from her Las Vegas show went viral. She appeared slow and her performance lacked energy as she interacted with her dancers. Some reckon the performance had Joe Biden vibes, with Mariah moving at a glacial pace. Others wondered if she was actually in pain.
Oh, no. That's not that bad, is it?
You know how people sometimes get told to do less? They've never said that to Mariah.
No,
She's
she's a lazy girl.
She's a lazy
She's a lazy girl.
Yeah. What is that?
She's just, she just doesn't have time to add too much to it. Do you remember in 2016? She's done it. On New Year's Eve, she completely dialed it in. Like, when you're Mariah, you don't need to.
I'm with her.
Work so hard.
Only as good as your last performance, right?
Well, this was the
2016. Let's just say, all of her dancers, they need raises because they are doing all
They're
of
doing
the heavy
lifting.
lifting. They are doing
speaking
everything.
Speaking of heavy lifting, it's time for my segment. Guys, if I've said it once, I've said it at least 3 times, right? The world is a big round, Tunny. It's a big round place, and there are stories happening all over it. So I've watched every bit of international TV news to bring you the best bits. It's time for... All right, now, first to the US for a story about wildlife, OK? And if you read anything else into this, that's on you and not me, OK?
To chew or not to chew, it is the great Minnesota beaver debate, and it is an issue being taken up at the Minnesota State Capitol. Should Minnesotans be allowed to eat a beaver? As apparently some say it's a pretty tasty dinner if you can get past the controversy.
That explains why my girlfriend booked us a holiday to Minnesota. Cut Sarah's mic. OK, let's stay in the US because there's been a bonkers twist in Trump's push to claim Greenland.
Tonight, Georgia Representative Buddy Carter has introduced a new bill that would authorize President Donald Trump to purchase Greenland and name it Red, White and Blue Land.
Isn't it crazy that 10 years ago, pre-Trump, this would have been the lead story? Now I'm covering it. Me, Beaver Guy. I hope that nickname sticks. Yeah. Anyway, now to an anchorman who's not afraid to tackle the big issues.
And finally, we attempt to answer the age-old question, cocaine or whiskey?
Yeah, look, as we always say in the Taunton family, it's Nana's birthday, her choice. Now, it's freezing in the US, so here's an informative PSA on some definitely not humiliating ways to walk on ice.
If you're in part of the country where the weather is especially wintry, Stephen Fabian has some tips that you need to know.
What is the dinosaur walk?
Dinosaur is, again, I keep my hands out, kind of walk like a dinosaur.
Oh, no.
Have hands out. It's all ice.
Oh, brother.
It's penguin.
Oh, boy.
Just make sure you're just shuffling.
Oh, boy. Now, if you like those, you can see all those walks and more in that man's one-man show, Animal Ice Walks I Invented to Cope with My Wife Leaving Me. Sorry, that was cruel, but fun. Now for the most exciting police chase that I've ever seen.
A Florida man learned a tough lesson Tuesday. You can't outrun a horse. Officer Cassie Hare chased him on her horse, Nash.
Hey! Come on, get in, Nash. Get that Batman. Get that Batman.
Get that bad man, Nash. Now, that's the most thrilling police chase involving a Bronco since OJ. Finally, guys, to Sri Lanka, where one little culprit is copying all the blame for this catastrophe.
Sri Lanka is grappling with a nationwide power outage for millions of citizens. Government officials have said that the power outage was caused by a monkey.
Well, what do you expect? Apparently at the power plant, they pay peanuts. All right, OK. Well, in all seriousness, experts are saying the monkey's behaviour is being blamed on...
cocaine or whiskey?
That makes sense. Guys, Beaver Boy out.
We'll be back with more projects right after this.
Watching the projects, welcome back.
Well, 2 public hospital nurses at the centre of a viral anti-Semitic video have been stood down as authorities investigate the claims they made about killing Israeli patients in their care, and a warning some viewers may find this footage distressing.
I have a question. Let's say an Israeli, God forbid.
I won't treat them. I'll kill them.
You'll kill them? So if an Israeli is in Australia and God forbid something happened to him and he comes to your hospital, would you kill him?
Bankstown Hospital in Sydney's southwest, 2 nurses allegedly brag about killing Israeli patients in a chilling video.
You have no idea how many Israeli Khara dog came to this hospital and I sent him to Jahannam. I literally sent him to Jahannam.
The pair in their hospital scrubs speaking to popular Israeli influencer Max Weifer using the messaging app Chat-Rouletka, which randomly connects users around the world.
I'm so upset that you're Israeli. Like, eventually you're gonna get killed and you're gonna go to Jahannam, inshallah. But like, these pretty eyes, they should stay in this world for longer.
This video is disgusting. It is shocking. It is appalling.
Why do you think I'm gonna get killed?
It's Palestine's country, not your country, you piece of shit.
How are you? What's your name?
One day, your time will come and you will die the most...
The comments are vile, the footage is sickening, and it is shameful.
Police today launching an investigation into the nurses' claims that Israeli patients have been killed. and mistreated.
They have abrogated their sacred responsibility as health workers.
While no evidence has yet been found, the two nurses have been stood down as the government apologised, promising to review patient cases over the last 12 months.
I don't want to leave a slither of light to allow any of them to be able to think that they will ever work for New South Wales Health again.
As the Jewish community today pushed for stricter vetting of healthcare workers.
For a long time now, for months, I've been hearing from medical practitioners in the community who have been warning about extreme content posted by other doctors and nurses online. We'd be kidding ourselves if we thought that these were isolated individuals. This is merely the tip of the iceberg.
The male nurse late this afternoon reportedly saying the incident was just a joke that backfired, while the family of the female nurse lashed out.
What? I don't give a shit. Get the
I'm on public topic. What do you have to say about the allegations that Sarah...
Becoming aggressive to journalists.
Mate, listen to me, brother. All right, okay. I need my phone back.
A man identifying himself as her uncle, saying she's sorry.
No, she's not a threat. No, she will never be a threat.
We spread
Listen to me.
peace.
Listen to me.
And
when
you
your-
spread
when your
death.
time comes.
How
when
are
your
you
time
doctors?
comes,
Wait.
I want you to remember my face.
Okay,
so
okay.
You can understand
Gotcha.
That you will
I have
die
a
the most
question, though.
disgusting death.
Well, New South Wales Minister for Health, Ryan Park, is with us. Minister, New South Wales, it's home to a lot of Jewish Australians. Can you guarantee they'll be safe if they present to a public hospital?
Well, yes, I can, but I want to be very upfront and very clear. Today, we've let down the Jewish community, and for that, as the Minister, I'm deeply sorry and I'm deeply apologetic. I've spoken to the Jewish Board of Deputies, I've spoken to a number of rabbis to express my sorrow on behalf of the New South Wales health system. This behaviour, vile, disgusting behaviour, in no way reflects the hard work, dedication, skill and compassion that 180,000 employees of New South Wales Health deliver for their community and for their patients every single day. I am confident, I am sure that that is the case. I want to make sure Jewish people and all people, no matter what their background, come into our hospitals and feel safe, comfortable and cared for.
Minister, we just heard in that story one of those allegedly involved in this, saying it was a joke gone wrong. The family of another worker allegedly involved saying they clearly didn't mean it. Do you buy those sorts of explanations, excuses even?
Well, no, this is not a joke. I don't find it a joke. The Secretary of the Health Department doesn't find it a joke. 180,000 of their colleagues don't find it a joke, and the community, and in particular in this case, I can assure you the Jewish community do not find it a joke. This type of vile, disgusting behaviour has no place in our community, but it certainly has no place in any hospital that I'm the Minister of or the Secretary, Susan Pearce, is responsible for.
Given the claims made in the video and the length of time that these workers have been in the public health system, how many cases, how many patients are you going to have to review as part of what you're looking into?
Well, we'll begin that process. That process will begin straight away. Obviously, we'll go back in the short term. I just want to make sure that in recent days and weeks, anyone that they have been caring for or treating with other clinicians or other nurses or allied healthcare workers have not had adverse impacts that may be attributed to this type of vile, disgusting behaviour. That'll take some time, but I want to get to the bottom of it. That's part of making sure that I can provide that assurity to the community and that confidence to the community that they can continue to trust the healthcare services that they get delivered at their local hospital. That's the most important thing
Minister,
going
can
forward.
you just be a bit specific, though, about what you're actually going to review? Because, I've seen a mention of looking back 12 months, but these people have been working in the system for longer than that. Exactly how far back are you going? How many cases? How many patients?
Well, I want to have a look at immediately over the last few weeks, and then I'll move back to a 12-month period. It's going to take some time because of the number of cases that they might be involved in. I want to have a look at where there has been potentially any adverse outcomes or where patients have expressed concern and see if there is any link to these two individuals. I mean, this is not going to be done overnight, but I want to be very clear and very thorough and I want to give the community every ounce of confidence that they can continue to present to our hospitals and that they will continue to get high quality, safe care that is compassionate and individualised for what they need.
Where do we go from here? I mean, will there be any more or any new vetting processes before staff are then taken on board and hired?
Well, look, we have very high standards. We have very high confidence and trust the work that 180,000 employees do for New South Wales Health and their communities and patients every day. Clearly, these two individuals are an outlier and do not represent in any way, shape or form the views of New South Wales Health employees. And that's why they have no place in the New South Wales health system as nurses in any way, shape or form, given the views they've expressed in the last 24 hours.
Minister, appreciate you turning up and answering some questions tonight. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
To more news now, and Matilda star Sam Kerr says she's fully focused on getting back onto the pitch after being found not guilty of racially harassing a British police officer. Sam didn't speak outside court. She later posted a statement on social media apologising for expressing herself poorly that night. She again maintained she never intended to insult or harm anyone and was thankful the jury unanimously agreed. Reacting to the verdict, Football Australia pledged to support Sam in the upcoming months. The Metropolitan Police say they respect the jury's decision and will continue to support the officers involved.
Well, journalist Latika Burke is in London. Latika, what's been the reaction over there to this outcome?
Surprisingly, very muted. This case has not made the front page of any of the major newspapers in the UK this morning. And that is somewhat of a surprise, but I think rather reflective of the verdict, because if the verdict had gone the other way, make no mistake, this would have ignited the most giant culture war in the UK that you would have seen. And to be fair, there has been a lot of that in the reporting throughout this case, which extended a lot longer than people thought and did lead, of course, to the release of that footage where Sam Kerr may not have been found guilty in a court, but certainly her behaviour will have left a lot of people deeply unhappy with her.
Atika, might not be on the front page over there, but there's plenty of commentary saying that this should never have even got to trial. What's the fallout from that?
Yeah, there is a bit of commentary here, although not as much of that as in Australia, because this is actually a very live issue in the UK. In fact, the criticism of the police in the UK is that they either are too pro arresting and stopping and searching people of colour, or it's the opposite, that they're actually too afraid and timid to prosecute or go after people in cultural minority groups because of the perception that they will be seen as racist. That's a really live and current debate in the UK in terms of policing, and that has also factored into this case. And you don't see as many claims that this should not have gone to trial, because a lot of people saw this as a bit of a litmus test of the law and where we're at. I think ultimately, though, the Court of Public Opinion will still deem this as a culture war, even if the courts say this wasn't something that they agreed with in terms of her calling this police officer a stupid white and some other unsavoury words, that those things weren't racially aggravated.
Latika, really appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I have been such a supporter of Sam Kerr for her entire career. I love Sam Kerr. I've followed her for the last 10 years when she was a teenager playing for Perth Glory back in the then known W League. For me, I don't think that her position as Australian captain of the Matildas is tenable anymore.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it's something that Football Australia, in my opinion, has already alluded to as well. They released a statement today saying that they are behind Sam, of course, and they're going to support her throughout this process. And the verdict, obviously, the not guilty verdict, has played a part, will play a part. But they also said in that statement that they are investing in building behavioural standards and expectations. Leadership comes with added responsibilities on and off the field. And I think that they're laying the platform there to be like, we may be holding Sam to a different expectation here.
But if she's been found not guilty, what are the grounds for removing her from that position?
It has still been such terrible headlines and terrible publicity for Football Australia.
So she's taken a reputational hit.
I believe so.
But because obviously male footballers, they get caught in bad headlines, they have to lose their jobs, don't they?
No, I agree with you, but they're not. they're not held to the same account, and also they're not on the national stage.
But
the international stage, sorry, the international stage.
And she just beat a jury of 12 English people.
I hope that
Get her in the team. That's good.
I hope she gets back to the Matildas team and she runs out onto that pitch, and she will always, I think, be a spiritual leader for so many people, but I don't think she'll be the captain.
You're watching The Project. Back with more in a moment. This is The Project. Welcome back.
Now, it's one of the cutest and furriest events on the global sporting calendar, a dog show of epic proportions, and there can only be one winner.
This is the 149th annual Westminster Dog Show, back at its spiritual home, Madison Square Garden.
This is the Super Bowl for dogs.
The Oscars of dog shows.
The main event brings together around 2,500 dogs ranging across more than 250 breeds from all over the globe to trot and prance and bedazzle the world.
Little foot wash right now.
Buckle up your flea collar, Jenny. We're ready to go here.
Over 2 nights, the winners from 7 different groups go on to compete in the final for the coveted Best in Show award. And the 7 finalists were... Oh my God, are you ready?
Oh my God, I'm so nervous. How are we all feeling? How are you feeling?
Come on, Vlad. You can watch.
The non-sporting group was claimed by Neil the Bichon Frise. In the hound group, Bourbon, the Whippet, got the nod. And didn't she look great?
Well, I think, like Chesley said, this bitch looked wonderful tonight.
The toy group was won by Comet the Shih Tzu.
I mean, I thought a Shih Tzu was a zoo with no animals.
The herding group was taken out by Mercedes the German Shepherd.
Oh, they're just so much of a joy to work with.
Monty the Giant Schnauzer won the working group. Freddie the English Springer Spaniel won the sporting group.
Well,
that's my favourite.
Yeah.
And Archer topped the terriers.
Not as gorgeous as you, Ruby.
Yeah, it's why you guys in this competition. Vlad, what are you up to?
Yeah.
And in the end, the big one, the Best in Show, was awarded to none other than...
Giant Schnauzer.
Oh, Monty! He did it!
And we rejoiced.
Oh my God! I knew it. I knew that they could do it. I knew they could do it. I'm so emotional.
He always tries so hard, and I'm just proud of him.
I can't believe they've won.
Oh, Tony, pull it together.
Memories like the corners of my mind. Misty
What a day. Big day. Big day for us.
Wow,
What was
pull
that
it
quote?
together.
This bitch looks wonderful. That is crazy.
I'm sorry, justice for Comet. There
I
is
know.
no way that Comet the Schnauzer... Look at her. Majestic.
look at her.
Look at that.
Comet
I
looks
mean, you're
like-
cute, Monty, but come on. Do
Were
you
there
have
any-
hair down to your ankles? No.
Were there any oodles show dogs? Can they be show dogs, or
Actually,
because
do you know
they're
what? That's a point of contention with a lot of breeders. Yeah. The oodle community is fighting to be
The oodle
a part of this.
community?
They are.
The
They're
oodle
fighting to
community.
be a part of this, but
Oh.
I don't technically know if they're allowed to be in this particular event yet.
Yeah.
Now, what did you do to those dogs? Because one of them vomited in our office this afternoon.
Oh, no. That was
I was so
Tunny before the
excited.
dogs even got there. She had a
I had
big
to work with
night
you.
on the hard solos, and that's what happened.
Oh, hard solo.
Yeah. Guys, the government wants to help make it easier for young people to get a home loan, which I think is a great idea, by getting banks to ignore HECS debt. And no one is more across the details than these particular young people.
Do you think it'd be a plus or not? It sounds like it'd be a plus.
Yeah, I don't really know. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't know. Sorry, we don't really know. Yeah.
You're 10 years ahead and you want a home loan, but you've still got your student debt. And the bank says, we're going to put aside that debt, even though you've still got to pay it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, which means you'll be more financially attractive to the bank
Yeah.
to lend you the money.
Oh, no.
Do you think that would be a plus or a minus?
Oh, well, maybe a plus? Plus, yeah, I guess.
Oh, no.
That's
Maybe
unfair.
the boomers should own all the houses.
Oh.
You know, so I don't think we can trust this next generation.
I feel like I was like that at university, so unaware of the debt that was
That was
building
on its
up.
way, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not a problem.
You're
is
just
it?
like, this is cool.
Yeah.
I'm at university.
Yeah.
There's something called HECS.
Nothing
and
matters.
And
that'll
also,
help.
I went to QUT. They've got dollar drinks at Fridays on a Tuesday.
Oh,
so give her a break.
What a
Georgie,
place.
Tony, get there,
Fridays.
get there.
See you soon.
The hard solos.
You're watching The Project. Welcome back. Tomorrow night, from Stranger Things to On Stage Things, we chat to the man with the hit of 2024, Joe Keery. a.k.a. Joe. They tell me it's spelt with a D. I don't know if I believe it.
These kids.
But it's pronounced Joe.
Yeah, okay.
That's tomorrow night.
Well, one of Australia's funniest men has left the jungle beyond providing the laughs. Husey also provided some spiritual guidance.
Is it just me or is Dave getting crazier by the day?
Yeah. Now I've realised that the sun is the giver of all life, and I want to be a receiver of the sun. I love you, son.
He went to the waterfall and claimed to have had a spiritual experience where he just stared at the sun for 30 minutes. Now, where I'm from, that's called sunbathing.
Would you please welcome Husey?
I did have a spiritual experience. A dragonfly spoke to me at the waterfall, guys.
What did he say?
I don't know. I don't speak dragonfly, but he had a go. He was definitely talking to me.
It's not often that someone comes out of the jungle looking better than when they went in. Has this experience been really good for you?
Look, it really has, mate. I have come out. I'm 8 kilos lighter. I carry wood much better than I did a month ago. I carry water so well. I'm turning Amish. I'm telling you, we're going back. And we're living on a commune. I haven't told my wife this yet, but I'm into it, right into it.
Husey, was it hard sneaking magic mushrooms into the jungle?
Mate, there was no, we had some mushrooms and they were magic, but not in the way you have yours. Mine just did wonderful things to my taste buds. Honestly, hunger is the best sauce, guys. When your meal for most of the day is beans and rice, a mushroom at dinner, and then one segment of a mandarin, and you're living like a king.
Oh, my God.
This is going to be the strangest cult that he runs.
It really is. It really is. Let's talk about the diet of that potential cult, Dave Hughes, because you've been meat-free for 15 years. You did break that streak with, I'm just going to check my notes, lamb tongue and boar penis. Do you think that you're going to go back to eating meat?
No, look. I'm not, for all the vegans who are attacking me online right now. It was a one moment. I needed to feed my camp family. And the only way them to eat good food was me to eat that penis. All right, so and I won't do it again. But if you want to know what that's like, go out in the backyard, cut up a bit of your garden hose, and chew on that for an hour. All right, that's so tough.
I'm a Celebrity continues tonight right after us on 10 and 10 Play. Husey, thanks for chatting.
Love you all. Love you all. You know that.
Woo! Wow. Well, our next guest is an incredible British artist with music that you cannot help but smile to.
If you're feeling down in the dumps, chances are Olivia Dean can pull you out of it.
Okay, love you, bye. I didn't mean to pick a fight, but oh well. Note to self, 4 pints in, you're someone else.
Her career kick-started when she was just 17, singing with UK pop group Rudimental. But it wasn't long till she went solo with a string of empowering hits.
Things won't change, but the hardest part is you realizing maybe I ain't the same.
She's graced legendary stages like Coachella and Glastonbury, picking up a global following of loyal and royal fans.
These days, if you can't behave, I'm leaving if you're leaving, no reason if you say you love me.
We've been patiently waiting for Olivia to make her way to Australian shores, and she's finally ready.
You got me from my head to my feet, and I'm ready to dive right in.
Could you please go crazy for Olivia Dean?
Yeah!
Excited fans in Australia, some very excited fans in our studio audience tonight. Happy to be here amongst them.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe it. I'm so far from home right now, so I'm just like, yeah, very happy to be here.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here, and we're also thrilled because today's very special. You've created a song for the new Bridget Jones's Diary movie. It's come out today.
It has.
What does it feel like watching something like that, such an iconic film, and then you're part of essentially scoring Renee Zellweger's love life?
It's honestly bonkers. When they reached out and asked if I wanted to just, come and see the film and see if I'd like to write a song for it, I was just like, yeah. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And then I saw it and I cried the whole way through. It just really moved me. I think she's a character that we can all relate to in a lot of ways. She's not perfect. It's real life. And yeah, it was a pleasure to write it, and then to see the end credits roll and then my song to be playing, it was goosebumps.
Renee was here on Sunday night, sitting in the same chair.
In this very chair.
She said people come up and tell her their Bridget Jones stories. Did you do any of that?
Did what? Tell Renee?
Your own Bridget Jones.
I haven't actually met her.
Oh, really?
I know.
Surely we can make this happen.
Is she still here?
No.
Can we get her back?
We've kept her out the back all this time.
Yeah.
Now, making music, we talk to artists and they always talk about the challenge of it. I read that you described making music as like a good bowl of soup. What on earth does that mean? And what soup as well?
What soup? Tomato.
Oh.
What? Really?
Is that a surprising answer?
It's like a
It makes sense because it's rich, right?
It's rich.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe chicken.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good for the soul.
I think I mean by that strange metaphor is that I feel like I'd like to make music that feels timeless and that you can always come back to. Maybe if you're ill, you've got a heartbreak, you know, or something. Just something that's going to fill you up and with warmth and love and, you know?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, with some chunky bits you can
Chunky
chew as
bits,
well.
yeah. It's good for you. It's good for the soul, I think.
Well, your debut album is called Messy. Is that because of the soup?
Yeah, soup
Eating the soup?
everywhere, yeah.
You seem very together, though. What is messy in your life?
Oh, my gosh, so many things. I think calling the album Messy was me reminding myself that life doesn't need to be perfect all the time and you don't need to pretend that it is and just allow the wrong bits to go wrong and laugh at them. And, yeah, it's a reminder to myself, I think.
What's gone wrong for you?
What's gone wrong for me? I mean, breakups, the whole thing. I think life can be up and down, but yeah, it's taking it in your stride and making positive out of it.
Well, so much of your work also revolves around these concepts of girlhood and self-love. Why are they so important to you?
I am such a fan of female artists, just like personally outside of making music. Like the way Aretha Franklin makes me feel when I hear her voice, the way Beyonce makes me feel when I see her perform. It's like, it keeps me going. And I just want to do that for other women and men as well. But I just feel like women are so amazing and we're so powerful and we forget that sometimes. So I just hope my music can inspire a little bit.
Is that kind of what you bring to the stage? Because when you are performing, you are radiating.
Like radiating now.
Yeah, but it really is, like all of your fans would know that in your presence is kind of like, whoa. Are you aware of that when you're on stage?
I'm just having fun, really. It's so fun for me to sing. It's like the best thing in the world, and the fact that I get to travel and just sing for people, you know, and help them to feel their feelings through understanding my own. It's just like, it's magic. So it's just fun. I'm just having fun mostly.
Well, I'm off to make some tomato soup after this.
Yeah, save me some.
It really made me think.
Shows are sold out, but you can still listen to the wonderful album Messy now. Please thank Olivia Dean.
That is it for tonight. We're all off to have some soup. We'll just stick around for I'm a Celeb. Hughes is gone, but there's still Zan. Maybe then more Zan.
Yeah, a little bit more.
We're back tomorrow night with more.
See you guys. Take care.